In a traditional phishing campaign, the threat actor sets up a fake login page designed to trick users into entering their username and password. These phishing pages are typically created by the attackers themselves, who strive to closely mimic legitimate login pages. The username and password fields function as a contact form, and when the victim enters their credentials, this information is sent directly to the attacker via email, and this in turn then allows the attacker to log into your account. Take a look at this email. You'll notice that a typo is present in the sender's name. The sender address looks unfamiliar, and there is a sense of urgency in the subject line. In addition to this, the overall wording of the email body seems unusual. The link in the email is another red flag here. While on the surface it appears normal, actually if we hover over that link, we see it goes somewhere completely different. On the phishing website, we see in the address bar that the URL does not match the typical login.microsoft online address. In addition, if we inspect the page closely, we can see that the formatting is off. Take a look at the Microsoft logo and the sign-in header. The spacing between this doesn't look right. In addition, the font on the website appears different to the font that would usually display on the Microsoft 365 page. This attack strategy is outdated because these manually crafted pages cannot request a two-factor authentication token from you. They are designed to be very basic, only intercepting your username and password. And this highlights the importance of two-factor authentication in today's security landscape. Introducing man-in-the-middle attacks. As technology advances, so do the tactics of cybercriminals, introducing a new attack strategy that bypasses two-factor authentication and is even harder to detect. This attack strategy works in a way whereby the attacker intercepts communication between you and a legitimate website. These attacks can bypass two-factor authentication by capturing your credentials and 2FA tokens. For example, the attacker will render the real Microsoft 365 login page and deliver this to you via their own internet connection. When you enter your credentials and 2FA token, the attacker will then intercept this information and use it to log into your account. This allows the attacker to gain access even if you have two-factor authentication enabled. This is comparable to you walking up to someone else's computer, logging into your Microsoft 365 account and satisfying two-factor authentication requirements, and then leaving the computer unlocked and walking away. This in turn allows the threat actor to continue where you left off, with very minimal effort. The following strategies are used by threat actors to lure in the victim. Now let's look at what happens if we interact with any of these emails. Before we do this, we'd recommend familiarizing yourself with the terminologies and definitions on screen. Here's a scenario. Michael, at Massive Company, knows James at Jives Food Services Limited very well and has been a customer for many years. But this email doesn't sound like the sort of email that James would normally send, and Michael doesn't actually owe James's company any money. In this instance, James's account has been hacked and used to send phishing emails to their contacts, one of those contacts being Michael. Michael doesn't recognize the signs and clicks the link. Let's now see what happens. On clicking the link, Michael was redirected to a website called gamma.app, which presents a page. Michael is now redirected to another website, docswhocare.com, which is requesting Michael to complete a captcha challenge. While this all seems very unusual so far, Michael has ended up at what is effectively the real Microsoft 365 sign-in page. But what Michael doesn't realize is that this page is being rendered from the hacker-controlled system and effectively has visibility of what Michael is doing. Notice the URL in the address bar. It still states docswhocare.com, despite the fact that we are on the Microsoft 365 sign-in page.